Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. Good old Monday. Hope y'all are having a good one. Let's see who we got hanging out with us today. Darren Bird's in the house. Good morning, Darren. Ray Jones, good morning. Good morning, Landis and Matt. Hope Matt's watching too. Paul in the house. Good morning, Paul. Hope you're doing well. Appreciate the thumbs up too if you did that. Marcelo's here. Good morning, Marcelo. David Davis, good morning. My favorite solar man. Good morning. Let's see, Gary Hammett's here. And the Batman guy is Sean. So disappointed, man, to find out you got rained out on the Batman thing. What the heck? You think the Joker and Riddler and all that don't work in the rain? Come on. Anyway. Good morning, Clyde. Glad to see you here at the coffee sessions. Well, it is Monday morning. Got up like I always do. Went turned the TV on to watch Joanne, and nothing but the news coverage of the funeral for the Queen. So I don't know what the weather's going to be. Well, I kind of do. But yeah, they showed. I sat there, drank coffee, my first cup, and watched the procession and all that. It's I don't know what to think about all that stuff. You know, it's. I mean, I guess it's impressive to watch that stuff. I mean, all the pageantry and you know, I can't even think of the right words, but you know, traditions and all that stuff. And you know, of course, they haven't got to do that in 70 something years, I guess. But the way they organize that and the number of people, not just the people that are lined up on sides of the street to catch a glimpse of the Queen's casket and stuff, but just the number of Royal Guard or whatever they've got, all these folks that are walking in step for all that time. I kept thinking I couldn't do that for as long as they have to walk, and they're not walking fast. But I would get messed up on the steps. I'd be out of sync, I'm sure, trying to do that. I'd probably have to stop and pee somewhere along the way, so I don't know. I don't know how they do all that stuff, but yeah, it's pretty impressive to watch, I guess. But and I don't know, they make such a big deal out of all that stuff, and I'm not knocking it. It's a big deal to them, not so much to us over here. But they were talking about when they were going to do the coronation for King Charles. And they're talking like, well, it'll probably be in the summer, and I'm like, well, what takes so long? Just do it. You already know who it's going to be. I don't know. Anyway, that's all there was on to watch this morning. So I have no shootings to talk about. I'm sure they still happened. I just didn't get to hear about them since they since they had that other stuff on there. So anyway, let's see here. Got a few more folks popping in here. Lou's here. Good morning, Lou. Kevin Els. Good morning. Rob is here. Good morning, Rob. Enjoyed your latest video, even though it wasn't the skinning of the inside. I still enjoyed it. Sean says they still lit up the signal. Okay, so everything was still cool. Batman was still um, still protecting the city, I guess. Or else he's looking out his window going, I don't know, it's raining. I'll pass. Good morning, George. Glad you're in the house this morning. Larry Galt says, morning. Almost late today, messing with the new toy. Yeah, Larry's got a cool new toy. I'm jealous. And I saw you been doing a little engraving stuff. Looking good. Looking good. That opens up a whole new bunch of possibilities for stuff you do. And I'm sure, I think you would agree, Larry, with me that to me, that's the way to go. Before, when all these little desktop lasers, weren't really as popular, getting a little module and putting it on the CNC, that was cool. But that's kind of old stuff now. And these other little desktop lasers can do a lot more, a lot faster. So I would not, I've been saying it for a while. I wouldn't even advise anybody to get a module and try to stick it on a CNC. Just buy one of these desktop things, because it's not that much more. Because really, the part that costs the money is the module. So when you buy the desktop CNC, like an O-Tour or a X tool or whatever it might be, that's mainly what you're paying for, is that whatever laser comes with it. So, George says, just say how expensive the farewell to the Queen is. Just the gunpowder for the salute. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the thing that struck me as probably the most interesting was, as the procession went by Buckingham Palace, they had all her, they didn't use the word servants, but that's basically what it was. The people that worked for her, kept her hair done and, all that kind of stuff, dressed her and whatever else they had to do. But they were all lined up, and it was kind of funny looking at the faces on those people, because, they're not needed now. A lot of them, that's been their job for the past, some of them have been there for 30, 40 years doing, taking care of the Queen. And now they don't, they're out of a job, I guess. Some of them, they might, maybe they'll get something to do with King George, but I don't know. They might not want to work for him. So Clyde says belt drive and lightweight for speed. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Larry says, going to try and engrave a grid on a spoil board today. Yeah. Yeah, that's the way to go. I can tell you. That's one of the, like I said, I never have shown my thing. I need to, maybe I'll set that up, and we'll, play around with laser beams this Saturday. I don't know. I could always do some tiles or something. I have some kind of engraving, but yeah, it's, I put and I can't remember where I got it from. Well, I can't even remember. It's been so long, because it's been almost a year. But one of the YouTube channels that I was watching, it might have been Jim at the Edge of Tech, his YouTube channel, or it might have been, let's see, who's those other guys? I can't even think of them now. But anyway, one of them had a file, and it was for, well, in my case, the laser Well, the O2 or Laser Master Pro 2. So, so whatever your thing is, I don't know what your area, work area is. Mine on that one was um, three. It's right. It's just under 15 by 15, I think. And what is that? 300 millimeters, I think. I think that's what that is. I don't remember. No, it's more than, it's 400 by 400. That's what it is. Yeah, because 400 millimeters or 40 centimeters, depending on how you want to say it, is 15, just under 15 and 3/4 inches. So that's what mine was, 400 by 400. But somebody had okay, yeah, you could use the same thing then if I could remember who I got it from. Um, I got the guy pictured in my mind, but I can't think of his YouTube channel name. But anyway, you'll find one, I'm sure, if you, or you can do your own. But there's a lot of them already made. And the one I did, I thought, well, I could draw my own, but they're already there. So, why, if they're giving them away. But it's got all the little centimeter squares, and then it's got the numbers for the X and the Y. So when you set something down and put the corner here, you know exactly where it is. Okay, Larry says he got it off Thingiverse. Yeah, there's probably one for sure on there somewhere. There's a lot of laser stuff on Thingiverse if you look for it. I've gone on there and looked for just put in the search, put laser cut, or just put laser for that matter, and it will find a bunch of stuff that people have put up there that are more for laser than 3D printing. Yeah, Rob said he did a spoil board with a V bit, and it comes in very handy. Yeah, I've thought about doing that on mine, but I just never have got around to it. The only thing I've done on my CNC is I just used 1/4 inch end mill and put blind holes. Each one of I've got like, I don't know, I think 11 strips of MDF that set in between the T-track. And so right in the center of the MDF, I just put a blind hole 1/4 inch and then went straight across the X in each one. So I can set something on there. If I'm really worried about getting it perfect, I can take some old router bits and just turn them over and stick the shank part in that blind hole and then set whatever I'm going to on there and pull it back against those. And then I know it's going to be parallel. But most of the time, I just eyeball it, lining it up with the edge of that hole, and don't bother stick, because most of the stuff I'm doing, that doesn't matter anyway. It's all cut out of a skeleton, so it's got a frame around it, so it's not super critical. But let's see, did I miss anything else? I don't guess I did. Kenneth is here. Good morning, Kenneth. Yeah, have you got Larry? Have you got any real? I mean, I know you just got it and you're playing around with it. Have you got any projects in mind that you plan to do? And I'm sure you'll probably get around to doing the tile stuff. That's always fun. And it's really not that hard, I don't think. Especially if you run one of those little, I don't know what they call them, the Norton tile test thing, where you put all the different power and speed and all that, and you just look at that tile and go, okay, this is where it looks the best, and you go with that. And I'm pretty sure I got that from that Jim guy at his channel's The Edge of Tech. I'm pretty sure that's where I got that, because he's done the white Norton tiles and the, I guess you call them black tile stuff, and that's where you put different layers of paint, and then I don't know. I haven't really fooled around with that. I've done the white ones, but I haven't done the other ones. But yeah, maybe I'll drag that thing out. I've got where I don't really plan much for the Saturday night show, because I always have invitations out for potential guests and stuff. And so I don't really announce anything too early, because I wait and see if somebody's going to pop up and go, oh yeah, I'm free this Saturday, I can come on. So I usually leave it open till Friday, and then I'm like, okay, well, I guess I better come up with something. So, but I had a lot of fun last Saturday making that dovetail thing. That worked pretty good. I mean, yeah, it's got the relief dog bone fillets and stuff like that in it. But as far as being a strong box, and everything fit really well. And it's still kind of cool when you think about how you can just take something flat and throw it on there and just use an end mill, and you can still get a dovetail joint and not just a box joint. But then again, you think about it, like I've said, when you talk about box joints, you think, well, you can do them with a CNC, but it's really cool if you have a laser, because then you can get that almost squared corner and get a much cleaner joint. You don't have that little dog bone fillet in there. But you wouldn't be able to do the dovetail stuff like we did Saturday night. You wouldn't be able to do that with a laser. I don't think you could get a consistent angle trying to burn that stuff off like that. And you probably burn your tube up trying to do it. So Larry says, nothing planned, just learning it for now, but I plan on using it for small text plaques and putting my stamp on the back of projects. Yeah, it's perfect for that, isn't it? And I guess you're using Lightburn, right, Larry? What do you think about the Lightburn? George says, I watched the Dovetail show. How strong is the question, thinking of repetitive use? Well, if you're talking about the strength of the box, like I say, once you glue it up, it's a dovetail joint. It's not a super snug one because of the dog bone fillets, but yeah, it's I don't think there's going to be any question that it'll be strong. It's just, like I said, just not as pretty. And if you wanted to spend the time, you could run a box like that, and take some wood filler or something that matched the species of wood you had, and you could clean it up and probably make it look pretty decent. But then that's a lot of work. And like I said during the show, to me, the whole purpose of making dovetails is because they look really cool, especially if you use something like maple for one piece and walnut for the other, something. You get that contrast and it really looks good. And of course, the thing with dovetails, any woodworker that goes to someplace and sees something with dovetail, first thing they do is pick it up and they're looking to see if there's any gaps. They want it to be looking just super flush. So it's, like I said, it's kind of neat, but it's not it's not something I think anybody would use for a something they were trying to make really look good. Mr. Ballard says the thought process on how to get those joints to fit is pretty interesting. Yeah. 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 It's, it's fun to make stuff with a CNC router. They join together. But, you're always you're always going to have to deal with having to put that relief for, because one part's going to be square and the other part is going to have that radius in it. So you got to put that relief in there. Unless, of course, you want to go and hand sand all of those other places where it's square and put try to hand sand the radius, put a radius on there to match the thing. But who wants to do that? Yeah, that's true. The dovetails would work good on drawers because the joints would not be seen and would never come apart. Yeah. Yeah, like I said, I don't think it's going to be a question. I mean, that box I made, it holds together. I don't even have it glued up. I just, push it together. But you glue it up, it would be strong, be fine for drawers. And like I said, you put a face panel on the front, you're never going to see the other stuff. Yeah, I'll let you do that, Clyde. I'm not going to waste my time doing anything vertical because, like I said, vertical is how you make half of them on a dovetail jig. So you can go right ahead and do that. I will not be demonstrating that. I can guarantee you. That's for all the other people got more time than I got. Well, let's see. I did see on, like I said, I didn't get to see Joanne on the news, but I did see her post. She posts stuff on Facebook every day too. And it looks like we're going to have 90s until Thursday, I think it was, she said. And then it'll start feeling more like fall. Because I think, let's see if I remember. Yes, Thursday is the first day of fall or autumn, whichever you prefer. But yeah, it's supposed to get back pretty toasty here this week, and then after fall, maybe it'll drop down a little bit. Whatever, doesn't make any difference to me. It's all the same. Don't make any difference to me. Okay, let's see. Would be cool if someone programmed a standard box joint that rounded the edges to eliminate the dog bones. Well, the problem with that is you can't get to, with the board laying flat on the table, you can't get to all those edges that need to be round when you cut a box joint. You could get to the top half, but you couldn't get to the bottom half. So, yeah, I feel you, Rob. In Arizona, we get excited about it only being in the 90s. Yeah, I bet you do. Bet you do. What kind of winters do you have there? I mean, like in the say around Christmas time or even January, like we're in Georgia, sometimes it gets pretty cold and we might even get a snow, that lasts a few hours or something. But what kind of stuff do you get in Arizona? Does it even get, like in the 40s or 30s, or is that pretty much something that doesn't happen? Mm. Still thinking about this one here. Yeah. Yeah. I just don't know how you would do that. You can hand sand it once you pick the part up and turn it up on the edge. But okay, Rob says mid-60s is normal high. We get a few frosts each year. Man, that must be rough. Must be rough. You probably almost have to put a long sleeve shirt on at some point, huh? Oh man. I would love it. But around here, if Georgia suddenly got where it was like that and it only got in the mid-60s, I can tell you right now it would be really miserable, because that means it doesn't get cold enough to kill off some of the bugs, and we would be we would be overrun with mosquitoes and fire ants and all kinds of that stuff if it never got. That's why we always hope we get at least a couple of good hard freezes to try to help knock out some of the insects and stuff. So yeah. Yeah, rounding the top edges, you would need a special bit. And like I said, you can't get to the bottom edge because that's what's against the table. So, and you need that whole thing rounded over to go into you know, the radius of the bit on the other piece. Mhm. Rob says when we moved here, they said we would miss the change of season. I have not missed winter yet. Yeah. That's kind of funny because sometimes I do gripe that Georgia doesn't really have, because I grew up in Indiana. So sometimes you'd have all four seasons in one day. But here it's like sometimes we have a little bit of a fall. And then other years it's like one day you're running the air conditioner and the next day you're flipping the heat on. And that's the way it goes. So Gary says they have mosquitoes in Alaska. I imagine those things are everywhere, at least for part of the time. You know, when the stuff hits the fan and we're all gone, mosquitoes and cockroaches and stuff will still be around, I'm sure. Uh, they'll be ruling the world. Alan says we rely on high winds to blow the bugs and ants away here in Louisiana. Yeah. Yeah. Well, my time is just about up. In fact, right there it goes. So I guess I'll get out of here and get my Monday started. I'm sure y'all noticed I did not get the video completed for this thing here. I got started working on that Friday, and I got thinking, oh man, I still got, I'd remember, I go, oh, well, I hadn't talked about this. I need to film that. So it's got a lot of features. It's not like the little Ender 3 that's kind of basic and stuff. It has a lot of features that I need to mention in the video. So I'm trying to go through and record, how the auto bed leveling works, how the manual bed leveling works, some other stuff. And then when I got doing all that, part of the problem I had was, you probably heard me talk about this before, but my neighbor over behind me here, he he has some kind of a garage band or something, and he's got a drum kit set up in his garage, and he'll have his friends over to jam. And when they do, they don't care about anybody else in the neighborhood. They leave the garage door up, amps cranked up to 11, and they're like basically putting on their own little concert. So they got to doing that. So I'm like, well, I can't record now because I obviously don't want that noise in the thing. And then right after that, everybody and their brother decided it was time to get out and cut grass. And even though I'm, trying to record right here, it's still loud enough that so I just said, this isn't going to work. So I didn't get to really shoot much video on Friday. So I'll be trying to finish that. And there's no big deadline as far as getting it done. I just wanted to get it done. He put out Saturday just so it'd be off my plate, but since I didn't, I'll get it done when I get it done, I guess. So anyway, Lou says mosquitoes in Alaska carry off small children. Okay. All righty. All right. Well, we're going to get out of here. Everybody have a good Monday morning, and get your week off to a good start. Get out and shop and play around, do something. And we will see y'all tomorrow. Everybody have a good one.